Are you, like so many passionate fans, utterly exhausted by the Chicago Bulls' seemingly endless dance with mediocrity? Do you feel a gnawing frustration watching a storied franchise perpetually stuck in neutral, forever rebuilding, without ever truly breaking through? For years, the promise of a brighter future has hovered just out of reach, a tantalizing mirage in the desert of consistent contention. Now, as another offseason unfolds, the same old questions resurface, amplified by a glaring reality. The clock is ticking on Nikola Vucevic, a talented veteran who, through no fault of his own, simply doesn't fit the timeline of this perpetually youthful, perpetually searching Chicago Bulls roster. The frustration is palpable, the impatience growing, as fans yearn for a definitive direction, a bold stroke that finally signals a true commitment to winning. But what if the answer, the long-term solution at center, is already being debated, a potential trade that could finally pull the Bulls out of their purgatory and set them on a clear path forward? The Chicago Bulls, under the watchful eye of head coach Billy Donovan, are undeniably in the midst of a full-scale rebuild. This isn't a secret, it's a strategic imperative. The roster is increasingly populated by young talents who are not just finding their footing, but are now holding significant roles within the rotation, demanding touches and developing their games. This youth movement, while exciting for its potential, creates an inherent mismatch with established veterans like Nikola Vucevic, whose prime years are now, and whose skill set, while valuable, doesn't align with the developmental curve of the team's core. Unfortunately for Vucevic, despite his undeniable talent and professional demeanor, the market for his services this summer has been surprisingly quiet. There has been little to no widespread trade interest, leaving the veteran big man in an awkward limbo. As such, it appears increasingly likely that Vucevic will be part of Donovan's roster when the new season tips off. However, this doesn't mean he'll be a fixture throughout the entire campaign. The smart money suggests that Chicago will aggressively explore options to move him ahead of the February 2026 trade deadline, seeking to extract value for an asset that simply doesn't fit their long-term vision. The urgency to find a suitable replacement for Vucevic is paramount, and it's against this backdrop that tantalizing trade proposals begin to emerge, offering a glimmer of hope for a definitive future. One such idea, put forth by Dave Holcomb of Fantasy on SI, has sent ripples through the league's rumor mill. Holcomb's proposed deal would land Jarrett Allen, the dynamic and athletic center from the Cleveland Cavaliers, squarely in Chicago. This move, if it materializes, would provide the Bulls with precisely the kind of long-term answer at the center position they so desperately need, a rim-running, shot-blocking anchor who could thrive alongside a creative playmaker like Josh Giddey, unlocking new dimensions for the Bulls' offense. The proposed trade, as envisioned by Holcomb, is a fascinating exchange. Cleveland Cavaliers receive Dosunmu and Buzelis. Chicago Bulls receive Jarrett Allen. Holcomb's rationale for the Cavaliers' side of the deal is compelling. If the Cavaliers are indeed interested in turning to Mobley for full-time center minutes, then a trade for Dosunmu and Buzelis makes sense, he wrote. Both forwards would help Cleveland replace Allen in the front court, but they wouldn't block Mobley from being the team's new starter at center. This perspective highlights Cleveland's potential desire to fully commit to Evan Mobley as their franchise center, making Allen a valuable yet expendable asset in their strategic shift. Dosunmu and Buzelis would offer Cleveland versatile, athletic wings who could contribute immediately and grow with their young core. However, the inclusion of Buzelis in this proposed package immediately raises a significant red flag for Bulls fans and front office strategists alike. In truth, the Bulls are highly unlikely to include a prospect of Buzelis' caliber in any trade proposal that doesn't land a genuine, bona fide star talent in return. Buzelis is seen as a foundational piece, a high-upside wing with the potential to be a future all-star. His inclusion here, while making the deal more palatable for Cleveland, is a non-starter for Chicago unless the return is significantly upgraded. This doesn't mean the deal is dead on arrival, though. It simply means there would likely be other makeweights, other valuable assets that the Bulls could use to get a deal over the line, perhaps more draft capital or other young players, without sacrificing their most prized young prospect. Regardless of the exact package, the fit of Jarrett Allen on the Bulls roster is undeniably strong. He would easily slide into Donovan's starting unit, providing immediate defensive impact, vertical spacing, and a consistent presence on the glass that the Bulls currently lack. While the Bulls are actively, if quietly, searching for Vucevic's replacement, other teams around the league are eyeing the veteran big man as a valuable addition to their rosters. In a recent article for Hornets on SI, Ryan Stano laid out a compelling case for the Charlotte Hornets to aggressively target Vucevic. One player the Hornets need to target in a trade is Nikola Vucevic, Stano wrote, articulating a sentiment that resonates with many observers of the Bulls' current situation. Vucevic has been wasting away in Chicago for the last few seasons as the Bulls continue their perpetual playing of the play-in game. This stark assessment underscores the collective frustration with Chicago's stagnant state, but it also highlights Vucevic's untapped potential in a different environment. Stano's argument for Charlotte's interest is rooted in Vucevic's specific skill set and how it complements the Hornets' burgeoning young core. Vucevic fits the kind of team that the Hornets are trying to build. He's an excellent rebounder and three-point shooter, which is exactly the kind of player they need around LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. This is a crucial point. Despite the Bulls' struggles, Vucevic is coming off one of his most efficient and impactful seasons. In 73 appearances, he's shown for the Bulls, demonstrating his versatility and consistent production. The veteran big averaged an impressive 18.5 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game, all while shooting a highly efficient 53% from the field and a career-best 40.2% from deep. These are not the numbers of a player whose value is diminishing. Rather, they are the statistics of a highly effective big man who can contribute significantly to a team with clearer objectives. His ability to stretch the floor and rebound at a high level makes him an ideal pick-and-pop or pick-and-roll partner for a dynamic guard like LaMelo Ball and a complementary piece for a scoring wing like Brandon Miller. As we get closer to the February trade deadline, Vucevic will undoubtedly draw increased interest from around the NBA, especially from teams looking for a veteran presence, a reliable scorer, and a strong rebounder to bolster their playoff push. However, a critical piece of the puzzle for Chicago is their commitment to not letting Vucevic walk, without having a viable, long-term replacement lined up. This is where the Jarrett Allen trade proposal gains even more weight. The Bulls are not simply looking to offload salary. They are looking to transition to their next foundational piece at center, ensuring continuity and progress in their rebuild. Beyond the NBA landscape, an intriguing alternative looms large for Vucevic's future: a return to Europe. Kevin Martirano of Sportando recently reported that at least two prominent European teams are currently pursuing Vucevic, a testament to his global appeal and high standing in international basketball circles. According to Sport Club, the situation is also being closely monitored by several European clubs, especially in the EuroLeague, Martirano reported, highlighting the intense interest from some of the continent's top teams. The report specifically mentioned Crvena Zvezda Belgrade, a club that holds a special place in Vucevic's heart. Vucevic is a well-known fan of Crvena Zvezda Belgrade, which could fuel dreams among the Serbian club's supporters of landing a major signing. Additionally, Panathinaikos, a Greek powerhouse currently searching for a center, has also been linked to the player, along with other financially powerful European teams. Vucevic is set to become an unrestricted free agent next summer, giving him ultimate control over his destiny. He may choose to remain in the NBA if he can land with a genuine contender, a team that offers him a clear path to an NBA championship, the ultimate prize for any professional player. If, however, that opportunity doesn't materialize, there will be no shortage of lucrative offers from Europe. In fact, a move to the EuroLeague would likely afford him a more prominent role, potentially even a starring one, allowing him to be the focal point of a team in a highly competitive and respected league. Nevertheless, the allure of making a genuine run at an NBA championship is powerful, and if that is his primary motivation, then signing with a contending roster in the States makes the most sense. Of course, a lot will depend on whether he gets traded this season, and where he ultimately ends up, as that destination may significantly influence his decision next summer. So, here we stand at a crossroads for the Chicago Bulls. The frustration of their prolonged rebuild is palpable, but the potential solutions are finally taking shape. The need to move Nikola Vucevic is clear, not as a dismissal of his talent, but as a necessary step in aligning the roster with a coherent, long-term vision. The proposed acquisition of Jarrett Allen represents a tangible path forward, offering a dynamic, young center who perfectly fits the modern NBA and the Bulls' evolving identity. Simultaneously, Vucevic himself stands at a pivotal moment, with options ranging from an NBA contender to a prominent role in the EuroLeague, a testament to his enduring value. The question isn't just if the Bulls will make a move, but when and what bold, decisive action will finally break the cycle and usher in the exciting, winning future that Chicago fans have so patiently, yet so desperately awaited. What are your thoughts, Bulls Nation? Is Jarrett Allen the answer you've been waiting for? Or do you see another path for this team? Do you believe Vucevic will ultimately find his way to an NBA contender, or is Europe calling his name? Share your predictions, your hopes, and your frustrations in the comments below. Your voice, your passion, is what makes this community truly special. And if you're as invested in the future of the Chicago Bulls as we are, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for every breaking update, every insightful analysis, and every passionate debate as this crucial off-season unfolds.